Well, today we have some new leaks for Call of Duty, and it's not what I expected to have leaks for because we have leaks for Treyarch's next game, Call of Duty 2024. Yeah, a game that's not going to be coming out for another 2 years, and I actually think there's a reason for this, why we're getting these leaks so freaking early on, that I will touch on after I'm done talking about the leaks themselves. But as for those leaks, I do have to give credit to the guy who originally leaked them, even though his Twitter account is completely gone now. But Reality UK, shout out to you. That's cool that you did that. And also, obviously, since all his stuff has been taken down, his Twitter's been deleted, I'm not going to risk showing any of the leaks here, even though I have them right in front of me. I apologize, but I'll just try to describe them to the best of my abilities. And I think what really matters from these images is not them themselves, for reasons I'll say here in a bit, but more of the era that it's telling us this next game is going to be in. And with that said, let's not waste any more time and talk about these leaks. So we actually got two images leaked, and they are both concept art, and that's the reason why I don't think it's really that important to show them, because this is only a concept of something they're probably going to build in the future. So it doesn't really matter how it looks, it matters what's in it, and what's in the first one is actually completely useless. It's just a museum that looks like they broke into and stuff like that, and I don't really think that we can really gather anything from this one, so we're going to skip right over this and go over to the one that I think is much more significant. And what it is actually a US airfield that looks like it's just got bombed up. It's like completely became destroyed and blown up and everything, and that's not great for them, I would imagine. But I do think there is one major thing we could get from this, and what that is that we do see a plane in this airfield, and what that plane is the F-17 Nighthawk. And this is really important to me because if we look at this plane, we could try to figure out when the time era that this game is taking place in, because we can just look up this plane and see when and what time the US military used it. And believe it or not, the first usage of this is in 83, which, that's I believe the same year Cold War took place, which isn't a great help. But one thing this does confirm to us is that it's not going to be a modern day game or a future game, since we do see this Nighthawk, because the Nighthawk got retired in 2008. So that's the max limit for where we are going, assuming there's no flashbacks or something like that, which could happen. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But at least with the information we go off of, we have from the 80s to the early 2000s to go off of. But believe it or not, we can narrow it down even further, because Reality UK also leaked another thing that he found in the files, and it was the mention of the Somali capital. And what that's called is Mogadishu. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly, definitely not, but it's a mention of it. And this is very interesting because if we could just look at one point in time that the US got involved in Mogadishu, or I'm just going to call it Somali capital because I'll keep butchering it, but if we just find out when the US got involved with it, that could give us a pretty good idea of when this game may be taking place. And believe it or not, this is actually pretty significant for the people who were probably a little bit older than me. They probably heard a lot about this because I know there was a couple movies made about this exact situation, because one of the things that happened in the Somali capital was that story of the Black Hawk Down. Yes, that's what happened there. It's the whole Black Hawk Down situation. I heard about things. I watched a movie about it when I was a small child. Didn't know what was going on, but apparently that happened in Somalia at its capital. So that seems to be what they are going to be doing in this game at one point in time, or just something. And of course, why this is incredibly useful to us is that this gives us a good idea of when this game could be taking place, because when this battle at the capital of Somalia happened was actually in 93. So a lot of things are pointing towards the 90s. This game could be based in the 90s, of course, assuming that there's no flashback stuff or anything like that, which is still entirely possible. And another thing I should probably mention is that this is incredibly early concept art, and this could just be concept art and nothing more. They can completely scrap these things and the era could be completely different, but at least from what we are seeing from these, again, huge grain of salt to take with this very early leaks, it seems that Treyarch's next game is going to be taking place in the 90s, which is a very, very interesting era to set a game because, you know, that's of course when the Soviet Union collapsed. America was doing the whole Gulf War thing, they got involved in Somalia, and a lot of different stuff was going on that it's interesting to see how they're going to all play this out. And it'll be interesting to see which characters they play out, because wouldn't Woods and Mason be a little old by now? I don't know. Either way, that seems to be what's going on, of course, with these leaks with a bunch of asterisks next to it. But regardless, one thing I want to say about the era that it's going to be based in is that we actually didn't need these leaks to tell us that this game was going to take place in the 90s, because at the end of the zombie season with Forsaken and the ending cutscene, it literally says, so I'm going to cut in here because what you're looking at right now is the face of a liar. Yes, I was about to lie, but I stopped myself. But I had the right energy, so I guess it's okay. Either way, though, what happened at the ending of the Forsaken cutscene is that it says 5 years later, and Forsaken took place in 85, so what's 5 plus 85? That's 90, so they told us with Forsaken all the way back then that their next game was going to be in the 90s, and they didn't lie. That's absolutely crazy. Regardless, though, I think there's one last thing we need to talk about with these leaks, and what that is the question of why the hell are we getting these leaks so freaking early? Like, we're literally more than 2 years away from this game and we're already getting leaks. And what I think is happening here, and what's most definitely happening here, is what they've been telling us was going to happen for a while now, and that is that Call of Duty is going to be running off of just one engine. And that's exactly why we are getting leaks for both Modern Warfare and Call of Duty 2024 in the files of Warzone Mobile, because that's where these leaks are coming from. Warzone Mobile. And of course, I don't know how exactly all the engine stuff works. I don't know why they're uploading, you know, the Treyarch stuff to it right away. There's probably a good reason for it that I'm just not familiar with, but regardless, I think that the reason this is the case is because they're all sharing one big engine now. And of course, when you share that engine, there's going to be sharing files across games. And because of this, we may be seeing a lot of leaks like this going forward into the future. When Modern Warfare 2 drops, we may find a lot of Treyarch's next game stuff in the files there too, leaking more and more for it. And that is one of the, I guess, cons of sharing one engine between all Call of Duty games, because things are going to slip through the cracks. There's going to be leaks like this going forward in the future now that they all share the same engine, which is going to be a ride for all the leakers. It's probably a great time to be a leaker in Call of Duty because, you know, now that all of them are sharing that same engine, there could be a lot of mistakes, and they could definitely capitalize on those like they did here with Warzone Mobile. Regardless, though, that's about it for this video. I'd love to hear what you guys think about everything we've talked about today. Do you guys actually think we're going to get a game based in the 90s? Is that Treyarch's next game? And also, what do you think about Call of Duty's all sharing their engines leading to these super early leaks? I'd love to hear all your thoughts and opinions on that down in the comment section below. Regardless, though, that's going to wrap it up for me. If you guys did enjoy this video and you found it informative in any way, shape, or form, then definitely do all that normal YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, bell, share, any of that great stuff. But I'm going to go. I'll catch you guys next stream, video, or whatever the heck it may be. And laters, guys.